the ones that paid. The names in here. And these are ones that were removed. So it was quite a few of them that they went through. Some of them, out of half of them already need to be referred to the attorney anyway because they're past due on their standard HOA balances in there.
And how long do we give everybody to?
Until from April 20th to May 31st to pay. So that's the paperwork that the attorney wants. So as you can see, some people have a large balance already.
Yeah.
And some people, they don't. But on the list, it shows you, I put on there, like how much the CEC fined each person and for what. So we kept them separated because they dealt with them on what the violation was for and then how much they wanted to fine them. And then if it says 0, those are the ones that you went away. Yeah, they moved on their own. Which I thought was, you know, just a homeowner. I thought it was a good experience because I can see why it's in the bylaws that we have to do it this way, because it showed homeowner versus homeowner. And they got to able to speak to one homeowner to the other and kind of explain what the violations were for and why they weren't correcting them or why they felt like they didn't have to. Some people took it well and some people didn't. And you could see the results. The ones that came and explained why they couldn't do it or what was the issue and that they didn't have an issue in the past so much, had a couple boo-boos here and there, those violations were taken out.
Burn up the whole hour.
The other ones that, you know, were hardcore,
It's gonna burn up the whole hour.
Alright.
Alright, so I need a motion to refer these to the attorney, these 33.
Yep.
Now, once they get referred to the attorney will go over everything with them again, and then he'll do the collection and the enforcement. So if they still haven't corrected the violation, it'd be his job to help them enforce that.
Alright.
So they won't be referred to me anymore. Alright, motion made. Alright, I left that section, that motion here. Did you wanna make your statement?
I was gonna just see if there's anything that I can do.
You can push it to the end. Okay, let's put that. Alright, and then the CEC appointment for July. We have we did 58 this time. I probably have 116 that need to go to the CEC.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna text you, the 3 of you, the appointments again, and there's 2 more, that would like to do it. I would say mix it up and add 3 new people to it, or mix 1 person on there. That way, it kinda makes it fair.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll text that to you guys for that one. Alright, 6-month review, I enclosed it in here.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah. So, the big numbers is still look at the bottom, where it says expenses, and then where we're at on the bottom, as far as the net income. So we're almost halfway through the year, and we haven't even spent a quarter of what we're supposed to spend. So, we're doing very good. And 2, because you guys put a lot of projects on hold until you heard about the street thing. So I'm still waiting for some of the budget things that we approved to go in there. So we're still there now. Any questions on the budget? Okay. Street turnover. So the latest update is, all the petitions that I had in my possession, I turned them over to the HOA attorney. So what she's gonna do, she's gonna schedule a meeting probably next week to go and speak to the county, and she would like for you to be present and for me to be present.
Just give me a date and time.
So I told her that's fine, I just talked to her yesterday, and she said that, she has already spoken to the county, and she's already kind of dealt with them before in these kind of situations, so she is gonna push it forward from their point. There's 3 options that the county can do, but we have to wait and see what they wanna do. And that's pretty much the update, so we have an attorney, it's now out of my hands and into the attorney's hands. Alright. Update on the, Pager Unda, Turnberry Reserve Pager Unda lawsuit case. That's still in the courts, we're still going through discovery, and we don't have a court date set for that yet. So that will still take time to do that. And that's the latest I heard from our attorney that's dealing with that, is that he doesn't feel like he needs to do depots, that he has everything he needs already. So, okay. And then, alright, the next issue is, oh, this is the other one, so. Okay. This one is a case that I think the HOA should, the board members, I've gone through and I've pulled everybody who's on the website called Nextdoor, who has gone on there and has posted negative things about the HOA, about myself, about our staff, about you guys individually, about other homeowners. Now there's homeowners attacking other homeowners. I got a phone call about one that's being physically threatened by one of the leads on here. So I think you guys have the fiduciary duty to protect the HOA, the board members, the staff members for sure, your vendors, and you have the duty to respond to, definitely to protect members. Not only am I a manager, I'm also a member here, I live here.
Right.
So when I drive down the street, when I have people flipping me off, or threatening to punch me and spit me in my face because I write them up for violations or some nonsense like that, I have a duty to inform you guys, and that you guys have a duty to take the same action. Also, I've had no less than 3 of these people write the state to try to, I guess, do some kind of legal action against my license. Me personally, not the HOA, not you guys, me personally. So I responded, and then I think at that point in time, they put some really defamation kind of material in there, and they flat out lied. So I was able to pull that paperwork up, show where they lied, and the state has already dismissed their stuff. So at this point, I think out of these 3, I'm gonna let you guys take care of this. Because if I file suit against them, it just becomes me attacking the homeowner, and I don't want that to kind of situation. So I'm bringing it to you guys, because you guys not only have the duty, you also have the standing to take care of this. We don't have to feel like we can't work here, do our jobs here. You guys are volunteers, for crying out loud. You don't have to feel intimidated by any homeowner or anybody out there. The nonsense of lately, we've had not less than 3 people trespass from the pool area. I had to call the cops out. They've been trespassed from the pool area. I have 6 written trespasses, and I showed them. So the physical threats have to stop between my staff and homeowners. And the only way I can think of it is to sue them, to make them understand their behavior and their activity, and that here in the state of Florida, they are liable for everything they post online. And they need to be held accountable, because we're not doing anything wrong, and I can prove that we're not doing anything wrong. So there's no reason for us to feel like we can't run this business, which it is. It's an HOA business. So what I would say is, I thought it was interesting, out of everybody that's on Nextdoor, I'm looking at maybe 12. 12 people. Out of 22 people, 10 of them owe money to the HOA. They owe a lot of money to the HOA. They have a lot of violations, they owe a lot of money. 12 of them just go on there, rant and rave about nonsense and whatever they wanna do, and they're coming in. I thought it was interesting, there's 4 of them, they don't even live here. They don't live in the community, they're not part of the community, they come up with false names and they go on there. And then I found out that 3 of them are felons. 4 of them have had foreclosures on their names and all kinds of other stuff. So the more I dig through this, and if we file a suit about it, we're able to pull more of the information on them as well, as part of the lawsuit. So I'm tired of it, I'm not gonna fight with them anymore. I'm not gonna get in between me and them and my license and whatever. They obviously make it personal, they wanna go after me, my staff, and everything else, no problem. At this point in time, I'm giving it to you guys, and if you guys want to have the attorney look into it and file a suit against, I would say at least 12 of them, go for it, because there are very liable things on. We have, so you guys know, we have written to next door to have them remove stuff, they refuse to remove it. They said it's up to their leads, and their leads don't wanna do it, so. At this point in time, I would say, spend HOA money and file a suit against them. What do you think?
Are they putting people's names and addresses?
Hey, that's wrong.
They're saying that you guys are criminals, I'm a criminal, I've stolen money, what else? That I should be in jail, you guys should be in jail, and they keep feeding a frenzy. So what happens is by their nonsense of their information, they turn around and they feed it to other people, and other people take it to the next step. So where now they wanna come to the HOA and actually up to the pool area and wanna fist fight me for taking pictures and going down the thing and writing people up. I had one guy just the other day, he's on here. He said he was gonna spit in my face and punch me in the face if I came to his house and took pictures again. And I explained to him, this is my job. Well, I heard that you guys can't even be doing this. So I'm not gonna keep fighting with them to do my job. So at this point in time, that's why I said, it's either the HOA sues or I have to sue. There's no in between. Because that's the only thing that you understand to back down. So right now, we have one case against one of the homeowners that he is being looked for. They can't even interview him. Because he fled. So it's getting to where it's escalating from verbs. I understand if you have, and we've always had that, if you have a difference of opinion, you have a thought, no big deal. Come and say it. We've always listened to people, I'll put them in writing, they've always done it. Now it's escalating to where it's physical encounters, where I've had to call the cops, and it's pretty ridiculous, 6 times in this year alone.
Yep.
So I put a motion that you guys go ahead and refer this issue and this thing to the attorney, have him deal with it, and go from there.
I agree.
Motion carried. And if he deems that it needs to be more, then he'll come to you guys.
That's fine.
So, all right, and I'll download that whole stack and I'll send it to him as well. All right, next issue on the agenda is sprinkler systems.
The thing is with the sprinkler systems, the way the development was put together, a lot of the piping and everything is low grade. So if we continue the way we are, all we're doing is doing patchwork.
We are. We're fixing it, and we put a lot of money into the sprinkler systems last year alone.
But if you count up what you're doing as far as patchwork versus just replacing it and doing it the right way.
Last year, we put over $12,000 just in sprinkler systems.
And what would it cost to do the whole?
Well, I got a bid for another community, and it's smaller than ours, but theirs is 30 years old, their sprinkler system, and it's been patched and hatched and all kinds of stuff. And the guy gave me almost $100,000, between $75,000 and $100,000 to replace it. Ours, I can start getting bids. I think this is a great line item for the 2010, for the October budget meeting to start putting that together. Right now, we've just been fixing them, and we've had 3 blowouts this year alone. And what it is that purple piping that isn't resisting pressure. So us, home-wise, it's gonna start exploding, and you already had it at
I've
your
already had it
house,
happen at my house.
and it's going to start exploding. So on the boulevard, when you see that dirt on the sidewalk, that's what it is. It's the main lines that are busting. So it's not a scenario where we're just ignoring the sprinkler systems, because they're not. It's just every time they come on and off, it's a propelled system. So it comes on at the pool area, and then it gets pushed with a lot of force all the way up to the front, and that's where zone 1 starts. So every time it does that, it pushes a lot of dirt and everything else on there. So
can you try and get some estimates and everything together?
yeah, I would say let's start putting that in, and see, maybe too, I'll ask is if they can replace it in sections.
Right.
So that every year you can, instead of doing a 40 foot 12, you're doing a whole section.
Right.
I'll find out.
Okay.
And we'll discuss that in October.
In October, I'll put it in October 2019 meeting. That'll be the big budget meeting. All right, the other one I keep getting asked a lot. I deal with anywhere from 30 something emails a day to 15, 20 emails, they're phone calls. And a lot of them are asking right now is the gym equipment.
The gym equipment? Okay.
Yeah, and we probably get about a good 3 or 4 people, I mean, sometimes 6 people that I see on camera with the gym equipment a day. So probably a week, we're talking about maybe 50, 60 people that actually really use the gym. And they're kind of the religious ones that go in there every time. So Chanel is reading. There's a lot of them. So you have one, out of the 2 treadmills, the one treadmill doesn't go up and down anymore. And then you have that white lifted system. It was really only supposed to be for like, maybe a couple people, but they've abused it. It's already peeling on the cushions. The one section that you go up and down, it's already broken on the back. The thing, it's never really worked. It worked for a couple months, and then shit started breaking right away.
Is there any kind of warranty on any of that?
It was only a year warranty. Except first it was a 6-month warranty. So I got all the parts for it, we fixed it, and then the warranties went out. So the structure itself is only a year warranty, and the structure's already starting to break. So that's why I said we can fix it again and have all the parts, but you're gonna run into the same problem again a couple months later. So what I would say is let's start looking for a more industrial kind of one that maybe
More heavy duty.
yeah, for that, and take that out altogether. But I need your approval to remove that in order to get the new one in.
Do you have any prices at all?
I have one, it's like $1,600 for, it's called the something or other. But I wanted to email those to you guys. And then that way you guys can tell me, yeah, that is one of the industrial ones on that. Because also what I wanted to do is go to like the local gyms and see what they're using. Because
they get a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah, you figure they get a lot more. But at first we put in the equipment that we put in, just to see if people were gonna actually use the gym or not.
Right.
So, apparently people are.
Yeah, well, if it's there, we need to have industrial equipment for everybody.
So we need one treadmill. We need, the elliptical's fine, and the stair climber is fine. You need a workout bench. That one broke right away. Yeah.
Is that the free weight bench?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then another request was bicycle.
Yeah.
They had a bicycle.
Is there no bicycle in there?
They have one that you sit down in, and then somebody broke the electronic parts to it.
Oh.
So it doesn't come on. It works, it just doesn't have like what your results are, right? So I see people using it, I just don't see any results with it. So a couple of people were saying that they use they would prefer a bike that you sit up on. So I figure it might save space too, so. So a bike, so one treadmill, one bike,
One workout bench.
one workout. And I need to replace two of the medicine ball things. They broke, yeah, they're full of sand and stuff. And they broke out. But nothing crazy. I put it in the budget to replace them every 4 years, so we're already almost there anyway. So next year will be 4 years.
Okay.
So maybe put it to every 2 years.
Well, if you get the industrial ones and you get the better
Yeah.
They'll
ones.
probably last
We'll keep
longer.
an eye on that and see if we can push them out a little bit more. I agree, let's go ahead and, people are using them, so let's go the industrial one.
Yep.
Alright, so I won't put a budget for that yet. And then the October fall budget, I wanna put it in now because, October's budget meeting is normally past this, thing, or right before it, and I have to order all the stuff before the fall party. So I left it at $4,500 for that budget. I don't think I'm gonna need all of that, but that's
Okay.
kind of the budget. I think like the Easter party came up to like 3,000 something.
Okay.
Alright, so motion to approve the.
That's approved.
Okay. There are no applications and no written questions at this time.
Okay.
Do you wanna adjourn? Or do you wanna make your statement?
What I wanted to say is, I know a lot of you don't know who I am. I'm Dee. I live on Turnberry. I've been here since 2007, and I've seen the development grow. And I know a few people, but I wanted to make it so that if you have a question, I'll try my best to answer it. Now, I don't do arguments, and I can't, if I don't know something, I will tell you, I don't know. But if you have something you wanna ask, I'm more than willing to answer. Sure.
Is this like the only time we'll be able to talk to y'all, like after this is
Well,
over?
no, see,
can we-
the thing
Yeah.
is, this is my understanding. I've only been the president for a short period of time. And I know that when I go to meetings, everybody has an opinion, everybody has questions. And when you're at a meeting, a lot of times, you're hearing what we're saying, but you're not
I'm trying.
really involved, or you don't feel involved.
Right.
So, while I'm president, okay, I would like it so that when people come, if there's something that I need to address, I will address it. It's like what I tell my people at work, I can't fix what I don't know.
Right.
Okay, so if you have a concern, or if there's something that you think we need to do differently, let me know, and we will see what we can do. I can't promise, but,
No, I understand. Well, I'm sorry, this is my first time at one of these.
Okay.
We bought a house, we about to be here a year this month.
oh, okay.
So I didn't really know how this went. I didn't know if when y'all got done, we could tell y'all what our issues was, or we can, like, I called earlier and I didn't get a call back today. And then it seems like I'm getting nowhere with email, so that's why I was asking, like, can we address our issues now? Or
Well, if you like,
after
you
this
can-
is over, can we?
You can talk, I have no problem talking to anybody.
Okay, so
If
I'll
it's an
probably,
account thing, I can help you.
Yeah,
okay,
Sharon
cool.
can.
So then they can ask, cause I'll probably be.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say, don't announce, cause anything you say, I
I'll
can
probably be a
put
little
it in
bit.
an email.
Okay, yeah.
I guess mine is sort of account. I'm not getting responded to as far as I received the fine on my account. Then I was asked to send pictures back in. I never got a yes, it's fine.
That's
no.
with me too, I'll pull it up.
Okay.
Yeah, Sherry can pull all that stuff up because she can see what's been sent and what hasn't been sent, and she can show it to you.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have a group that actually you can go to if you have a violation. And if you don't agree with a violation, or you think that it should be different, you can actually discuss it with them, and they will review it with you. And we've had people that we've actually dropped the violation. The only reason there are any violations is because they're trying to keep the community, the value up.
No, I understand.
So-
Is that the M35 firm people? Or is
That's
that-
that's me,
That's
Oh,
right.
okay.
yeah. The CEC are the ones that are enforcing the covenant enforcement.
Right.
They're the
That
ones who are
was-
doing the violations.
Yeah, that was my question. I did the whole, send the pictures in to see if the disagreement, agree thing, and I never received.
Then you have to see if you're slotted for the next, they don't meet until July.
But I think what he's asking is, he sent it to you, but he hasn't heard a response.
Yeah.
Response, right.
I'll look it up,
Okay.
yeah, I could.
And another
I
thing
get so many of them a day, you couldn't.
Right. And one more thing I didn't hear discussed was something I've been hearing. July makes 3 years for me. The gate, I didn't hear that.
We just talked about.
We're working on that.
Okay.
There's a lot
Yeah,
of
the
hoops.
gate, it depends, they're slotted, they have plans, and they already have, you guys already have your drawings for what type of gates and that kind of stuff to go. Once the county approves this HOA to take over the streets, then they'll have those meetings, they'll start having those meetings, and they'll have to discuss what design, cause there's thousands of them. This could be
I
a
think there's
system
a
like
lot of-
Spring Lake, or it could be a system like, North Shore, or the other one in Villa, whatever, there's thousands of systems to go.
There's a lot of us
So-
that want those gates.
And they're not that bad as far as price wise, so,
Is that something the
Yeah.
community can vote on?
yeah,
So
yeah.
if you have like I understand maybe if you're in arrears, you can't vote, whatever, but is that something that's open to, I've been here 6 years, I don't remember there being a vote on it, so I don't know if it was before I moved in or not, but
To
It seems
installing the gate or
It's
to?
actually having a gate, because my concern is that our HOA fees now are relatively inexpensive, and it's nice. If we put a gate up, those roads are ours now.
If you take over the gate, well, they already did that when they sent out the petition starting in 2014, 15, and 16, that's what we were doing, we were collecting petitions. So one is to see is how many people actually wanted it, and it required at least 80% of people here, and there was more than 80% that signed a petition appointing the board members to take over the streets. So that's already been forwarded to the county. So now the county has to sit there and they have to have their meetings, and they have to go into that whole spiel. So we tried to discuss with them about, like doing the repairs to the streets, but the penny tax failed, so they're not going to.
Your concern sounds like mine at first when I heard about it. When I moved in 3 years ago, I heard it was getting a new gate and a new splash park with no increase.
Yeah.
That's what I was told.
And we're still on that.
We're still on that, and when I moved in here, okay, there was no gate, there was no talk about any of this, okay? And I have to say, with the management company we've had, they've actually built up a lot of the stuff. We've got more capital than most places, okay? That's why we've got the violations, that's why we're trying to keep things the way they are. By having the gate, you're not gonna have Spring Lake coming in and out the way they are now, which is wearing down the roads and everything else, getting in front of people's houses, and I know that's aggravating to a lot of people, okay? Then it's the safety of the children, because you've got a lot of children walking up and down these streets, and I'm gonna tell you, some of these people drive down these roads like a maniac.
Well, a gate's not gonna stop that, though. A speed hump would stop that.
Well, and we've talked about that too, we haven't gotten very far with it, but we've talked about that too. But as far as what we're trying to do is get the gates to limit the amount of traffic going in and out, so that we don't have, because we've had, since I've been here, I know for a fact, we've had the police in here a few times where they've had drugs and kids doing things that they shouldn't be doing, okay? And we're trying to alleviate it and lower it so that, everybody's safe.
No, I understand the point of the gate. I don't know that's gonna stop drugs from coming in the community, but I understand the basic security of the gate. My concern is that once the gate goes up and we own the roads, then all of a sudden our HOA fees are gonna be tripling and quadrupling because we don't have it in reserve to pay for the road repair that we're gonna need to put in. 'Cause
Well,
roads are,
I can speak to that, because that's the reason why when I was board president, we didn't lower the dues to 55. We kept them at 65 because $10 is supposed to be going into our reserve fund, and that's what we've been doing. So ever since, that's been 4 or 5 years now.
Well, I know when I first came here, our dues were they were double.
They were double what we had. We had
When I
145.
first moved in here.
So we went to 145 in 2009 we lowered it to 70. I took over as board president for 5 years, and we lowered to 65. I tried a couple years to lower it to 55, and I was outvoted every single time. And I was told, no, put $10 of everybody's money into the reserve in order to slot it for the streets to start taking repairs.
That was the
So-
main reason we wanted to do, well, one of the reasons with the gates and the splash pool and all these different things is because we want people to want to live here. We want people, but we're not intending to raise the dues,
No,
because
that's what
that
I
means
would-
I'd have to pay more dues, and I don't wanna pay more dues.
I understand the intentions are good, but in practice, when roads cost $1 million a mile per lane to put in, upkeep in a road is gonna be a hell of a lot more than $450,000 in the course of 10 years, or how long it
Well, the
takes to
county
replace
right now is
sidewalks.
not doing anything for the roads. They have not been in here one time since I've been here.
And they're charging you your taxes.
And
You are paying for the roads, you're just paying it through the county.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too, cause our road on my end is cracked all up.
It is. It's
So
gone
you
down the
must-
levels. It's like they talked about it back 5 years ago, 6 years ago, that you gotta think of it kind of like a cake. It goes through levels, and I've brought probably no less than 8 different companies in here to come and start talking about repaving and start to do it. The longer it deteriorates, the more they go to that level to where they can't repave it. They have to come and scrape it off. They have to re-level it down with the gravel. They have to lay the new surface down with the concrete and the gravel, and then they start laying some. So the longer it deteriorates, the worse it gets. And we kept saying, well, we were told by county in 2009, 10, that it's every 10 years. It's every 10 years, Sherry, that they gotta come and redo the roads. And we're like, well, that's great. It's been
12.
Yeah, it's been 12 years and then that's when, every time we have a meeting with the county, that's the first thing we bring up is, are you guys gonna redo our roads? And they said, no, they're not gonna redo the roads. What did the attorney say? They're like over $500 million
I've actually
past
gone to
due.
court with, Sherry, where we've talked to the different people, and they have every excuse in the world why they haven't done it, you know, but.
We get it, and that's the first intention, is not to ever increase the dues. And I don't wanna see that, cause I live here too. I think every board member that has come and gone, their all intentions are the same. As long as their intentions stay the same to not increase the dues, then that's what I would hold them to it.
My question is, where would the gate go as far as?
You know, the
what's coming
second
in and out?
island, everybody's saying the same thing. It can't go before the school buses, because they don't want that interference with the
So my
traffic.
question is, for us who live on Hollyberry,
Mhm.
the front part, how's that benefiting us?
It'll be before that turn on to Turnberry Boulevard. So your gate, it's gonna be like this, so like the island, the second island is like this, and they said the one gate will come in, and the other gate will go out, or vice versa, I think it's vice versa. They'll have one fate, the gate will open here, and the other one here, and then they'll have like the guard shack in the middle or something like that.
So pretty much, right as we would turn off, Fox Bend, the gate will be right
The
there.
Fox Bend will be gated, yeah, it has to be able to block that school traffic from Fox Bend, Hollyberry, and you guys.
Okay, and then as far as for our back fences, is it gonna be like a fence or something that's gonna, like,
Right now,
go
this is just
behind our
traffic.
house?
No, right now, this is just traffic. So you're talking about, you want to,
Because there again, how is that
Yes,
gonna
that'll be a
benefit
gate then.
us, because we're right here, so somebody can easily walk around the gate, or
Right.
walk right up through those trees right there, and just walk right.
the pedestrian, right now, I'm just looking at the vehicle traffic. And then the pedestrian traffic is the same thing, the same gates that they put up at the school or the basketball court or.
There was one year, and it wasn't last year, I think it was the year before, where there was so much, Austin Tyndall had a game or something.
Yeah.
And there was,
right over
and
here.
they parked,
Yeah,
they
And
parked,
blocked us.
they
Yeah.
blocked everything,
Right,
and they were everywhere.
for hours.
And we
Yeah.
called the police, we called everybody.
Right,
And, but because it's not gated, it's considered a public road, so it's out of our hands.
yeah, I understand that, but my question is, even though we're gated, and if that's, are we only gating it for traffic purposes?
For right
For
now.
now.
We have to do everything in steps,
Okay,
okay? So once we get that far, okay, then we can start looking at the other items, you know, like pedestrian, you know, people coming in and out, that kind of thing.
okay.
And too, to see if that's a real problem, too, you know, I mean, not. Well, I guess we do get a lot of people walk around.
We do, and the thing is, and I can understand her concern, it's just that, like I said, you can't take a whole big thing and fix it, you have to go in steps.
Yeah.
You know, so if we can
Yeah.
alleviate one thing and then go to the next step.
In order to be, it's kind of attached together, so the county has it in their statutes and their bylaws. In order for us to take over the roads, we have to become gated. In order for us to be gated, we have to take over the roads.
Right.
So it's one attached to the other, you can't have one piece and not have the other. Now, as what one guy told me, he goes, if you guys happen to have the fences open and not, that's why I would say I worked in one community that I did security for, and during the heavy flow of traffic, when people were coming and going, we had the gates open. You guys are walking around, everybody knows what's going on, and then at night, we'd put everybody to bed, so like at 8:30 at night, we'd close the gates. And it would be open again at 7 something in the morning when everybody was leaving for work. I'm not saying that that's what's gonna happen here, but there are things like that that can prevent the traffic that's happening in that Spring Lake right
Part
now.
of the traffic is also from the school where they park in front of our
That's what we're
house,
trying to.
And that's
stop.
what we're trying to stop.
up in the loop, and their kids walk and come through the trees and get in their car and leave,
Yeah,
so.
and that's what we've tried. So the best that we've done so far is work with the county, is to have those signs that you can't park between 9 and 7 or something. It's some hours, some 9 or 7 to 9 or 1 to 3. That has not worked. What happened was it pushed everybody from Haley Kate over to Fox Bend and Hollyberry, to where people were almost fist fighting over there because they needed to get out and traffic didn't go fast, you know. fast
That's
enough.
what we're trying to
It's
alleviate.
ongoing, yeah. It's a constant problem ongoing, to where even the sheriff's office, they don't want to enforce anything unless there's signs there. So the county has agreed, they're signing a petition right now. As soon as they get it to us, we will sign off on it and then have them to put those signs up until the street. I don't know if it's gonna be another year, we don't know how long it's gonna take this petition.
No problem, there might be some more questions
Yeah,
about something else,
definitely
so.
not.
Anybody else?
I didn't hear anything mentioned about, I know the sidewalks along Turnberry Boulevard, they used to have the orange tape up, looked like they were gonna fix them, but then all that went away and.
I called them in January, and I explained to them and showed photos about the sidewalks. And I go, it's really bad, we've had some people actually fall off of them.
My neighbor actually.
I just picked her up, was it a week ago? Not even a week ago. I literally saw her trip and fall flat. Ran over, was like, I'm okay, are you so sorry? And in the meantime, there was traffic going by. Nobody stopped for her, which was kind of horrifying. But I took her home, she really hurt herself. She really had scrapes and knees and all that stuff. Luckily, she was wearing jeans. So we do have quite a bit of population that are older here. That's why I explained to the thing. So January they came in, they sprayed everything out, and they promised me, no, Sherry, by February, March, April, everything will be done. No, it's come and gone. I've had other people call and go, hey guys, this is really a serious problem here. People are falling, it's a kind of a thing. So much so now I'm collecting the data, so every time somebody falls, I try to get their name, number, incident, and I call them right away.
Is that the county or?
That's county.
Oh, okay, so
It's
it's not
roads
ours.
department.
No, it's not ours.
Oh,
And see,
okay.
that's where it's very hard for us because we have to depend on them.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a county, if you wanna call yourself, it's a county roads department, and they'll take your call and they'll go, yeah. And like I said, I was really hopeful when they were spray painting and they put the little
Yeah, I thought the
signs up,
sidewalks were us, so I think.
and
No.
nothing happened. So I went in, maybe I have to do that again, get I was just starting to get bids on what was gonna cost for us to replace it if we end up taking over the
Yeah,
roads.
I still think they
And
need to.
it's not that expensive to replace the sidewalk.
Yeah.
It wasn't at all. One guy even talked about I can even lift some of them that are cracked, kind of a situation. So for a lot less than,
What about the benches along Turnberry Boulevard? They're all warped and fallen over, like you
Those
can't
we
sit
already
on.
ordered to have them replaced.
Yep,
Okay, so
we're
they're
replacing them,
replaced.
yes.
And then what about the fountains? Any update on those?
Well, the fountains they were going to go in January, February, and then we ran into the problems with the power again. So I pulled a company to the other power, so now he wants like almost $16,000 to put in new, not new, but put in their own
No, that's
towers
that's for the ponds that
for the
are,
fountains. Cause remember, we were gonna add one to the end, or two to the one on the right and then one to the left. So, and I get it because it helps flow the
For mosquitoes,
vegetation
for
and
everything.
it looks good. So that's why with that last meeting in January, we kind of put a hold on that. So I would say while you guys are still waiting for your fence, it's a good time to go and spend that money.
That's
Let's
fine.
do it.
That's
Are you
fine with
guys
me.
okay
That's
with
fine with
that?
me.
Alright, I'll add that to the thing,
I have a question.
fountains.
sure.
Community bylaws specifically state that these meetings are supposed to be at 7 o'clock. Why are they being held at 5 o'clock?
The bylaws, it's not dictated that, look, bylaws are bylaws, they're working government rules. They're here, they're in charge of the bylaws. So what happens is if it's a certain thing, they're in charge of it, it's their schedule. So if the three of them decide, I can't make it at 7, I can't make it at 6, it's not gonna be held in force against
Don't
them.
you think you need to give an opportunity for the people who work to get home from work to be able to attend these meetings?
They can attend, it's not required
Not
for
if
you
they're
to be
working.
there, it's required for these three to be here. They're the ones that are putting their time in, they're the ones who volunteered to be on the board, these are board meetings. Homeowners can attend, it's not required for you to be here.
But isn't the board for the betterment of the community itself?
That's what they're doing,
But if you're having these meetings at 5 o'clock,
it goes by
how
their
many
schedule.
people who work can't make it?
I understand that, but that's their schedule.
But, okay, let me just say this, okay? I'm gonna take her for instance. She has to
leave
be,
right now.
she has to go to
Yeah.
work,
Yes, I gotta go.
okay? So
She
she's
has to leave
leaving.
right now.
Alright, I took off from work to be here. Everybody in this room, and I'll guarantee you, when you put hands up, there'll be people who are either getting off at 4, getting off at 5, getting off at 6, or having to go in at 4 or 5 or 6. There is no way that any of us can make it so that everybody is happy. We try very hard, okay? Now, I take off from work, alright, and I do that because I care. I don't get paid for this, I don't get anything for this. So I understand what you're saying, and what we can try and do, if this would be all right, is we can try and change the time so that we alternate times. So that maybe we'll come the next time at 6, so that it makes it easier for people. Maybe one time we'll try and come at 4. You know, see what I'm
Well, I'm
saying?
just going according to what the bylaws say.
Well,
Well, and-
January, the meeting was from 6.
But you see what I'm saying? We
It was
can
from
try
6
and
to
alternate
7.
the time.
They try to alternate it.
We'll try our best to do what we can.
No.
So it's kind of more so to benefit the board members?
It is.
Is that
Well,
pretty much what you're saying?
It is in one sense, and the reason being is in order to even have a meeting, you have to have the board members,
Correct.
okay? Fortunately,
Yeah,
with
somebody
what I
missing.
do, fortunately with what I do, I'm a director, so I can kind of do my own time, okay? That helps me. She is not. She has to be at work at a certain time. The other board member has to be at work or be home or whatever the case may be at a certain time. I'm probably the most flexible, okay? And not everybody works the same days, same hours, but like I told Sherry, and I did this for a reason. This is not normal. Every meeting I have been up to this point, has not allowed anybody to ask any questions. They've asked for you to write it in. I told her, I called her, and I said, I wanna try and change the way things are done, because I want this to be a community of teamwork. People who work together, not against each other. If there's things that need to be fixed, we'll try to fix it. If there's things that you guys want that we haven't discussed, we will start trying to discuss those things. But you have to do it in a manner where you're not at each other's throats, you know? Yes, William?
What is Mr. Joseph Conover to the HOA?
Okay, Sherry.
Monthly.
According to, and this is all I can tell you, because this is all I know. According to Sherry, Joseph is not part of the management company whatsoever, okay? He does not work for the management company?
No, he does work for me.
Oh, I thought you said he didn't.
He had to pass a thing that would have background clearance and all that other stuff. Once he was background clearance and posted and bonded, which he is, federally insured, he works for me. He doesn't work for you guys individually, he works for me. So at that point in time, I hired him on, but he's quitting anyway, in a week anyway, so.
Okay,
That's why he's
okay, so,
He does not work for me.
because,
If we're talking about safe. We're talking about safety. No, I'm sorry, I'm taking the opportunity
It's okay,
that you
no,
wanna
it's
take
okay,
question.
it's
I
okay.
appreciate that.
It's okay.
How you feel, or how you would feel to have a guy with a record?
Okay, I'm gonna answer that, and I'm
No,
gonna
just
answer,
real quick.
go ahead.
Randomly going through my property, I have it on video, going over my fence, taking pictures, so going in.
Going over your fence?
Yes. Going between my vehicles.
Hold on a second.
We, police, security patrol.
First off, nobody should be going over your fence.
I know
That's
that.
number one, okay? Number two,
I see a balance on your account.
the, for you guys, I could second that also, I have him on video from my security system, getting out of his vehicle and taking pictures at my house.
He's supposed to.
out of his, but going
Out
over
of
a
the
fence?
HOA.
Not a
vehicle.
fence. What he does is, he does what me, Teresa, and several other people have done. Where they walk up to it, it's a public roadway, we're allowed to go up to your house and take a picture of whatever violation it is. Have I gone over your fence and done that? I
No,
haven't.
I didn't say that, no,
No, he didn't say that.
I didn't
He didn't say that one.
I said
That's
that.
not, no, I understand that, but that's the part of that whole first part lawsuit that we're talking about. There's been a lot of false statements, and by several people here that have made them. And I can prove that they're false, and there's one individual that we're actually currently in a lawsuit right now for. So, I would tell you is that if you have proof, you better prove it. Because right now, you have made a lot of false statements, not only against Joe, but also against myself, and it wasn't even him. So for 3 weeks in a row, you guys called up You emailed, you bombarded, you called the state, you called the police, and you said I was here. He wasn't even here. For 3 weeks, he wasn't even here. So all I'm gonna tell you is, back up what your statement is. If you feel that way, put it in writing, take it to the board members, and they'll look
I
at it.
just asked a simple question, I didn't.
I know, I'm just telling you, I'm telling you,
I know,
general
I
blanket.
know.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Let's go on.
I don't know what to call it, but whenever they take a picture of a violation, okay? You can take the picture from the sidewalk or from the street, or are you allowed to
Anywhere.
walk up in my driveway to my front door?
Technically, I can walk to your front door and take a picture.
Okay, but technically that's
It's
my
called
property.
curtage. No, it's called curtage.
So,
Curtage is open to anywhere that's under the public. So meaning, if you have some kind of violation by your door kind of a thing, I normally don't do that. Teresa hasn't done it. Joe definitely hasn't done it. To where I really don't care what's at your front door. I'm looking for big things, anything on that list. But yes, I can walk up to your curtilage and take a picture.
so you can
Most,
walk my
now
driveway, front
county
door,
is
and take
very
pictures.
aggressive. County will climb over your car. I just had it and they were here not too long ago. County was taking pictures. They were going into people's yards. That's code enforcement. That's completely different from
Right,
us.
right.
And there were 2 guys that were running around here and they were in trucks, and then guess what? Turns out they were county. They weren't
And
even.
see, county, I have.
No, I
can't
just
do it.
making a question, this is safety is gonna be a priority.
Right,
Why
and I
Why we
understand.
allowing people like that working
So
between
I do
kids and
have-
stuff like that?
Okay, that's what I was gonna answer.
And with a camera, you know, you hit the pool with your kids and all that stuff, and have this guy staring at you
And then
with
I
a
have
camera.
another
and
one.
with one
Anything
camera.
that you have, anything that you have that is derogatory
For
in the sense of,
if you have a violation of this,
if it's somebody that you feel that your children are unsafe about being around,
Once you do
I
that-
wanna see those, okay? Because the
I
thing that
would
we
be
have
more than
found,
happy to show you
That's a
everything.
long
Okay,
time
the
ago.
thing that we
don't
have
do that.
found
We haven't done that.
is a
We're
lot
talking
of the
about-
people that are making
So
complaints
March 2019 and.
actually have felons. I didn't know how many people in this neighborhood had felons. I didn't know how many people in Spring Lake had felons. I mean, to me, a felon that, you know, but there's I guess there's different ranges. I don't know anything about all that stuff. To me, the things I worry about is if they're a child predator, if they're anything to do with, abuse, those are the things I concern myself with, okay?
And that's what we're
Because-
dealing with,
And that's what I'm saying, is if those are the things that you guys are talking about, then I wanna know about it, because those are the things I can address.
Do you have a knowledge of these people, do you have a knowledge of that person record?
I've actually seen the video, and I've actually seen everything. Here is what I found out. She brought me because, and I will tell you this, I actually sent an email saying that if I did not have proof that
And a bunch of other people did.
he was
send theirs.
okay to be around, or whatever the case may be, that I was gonna step down, because I am not gonna put myself in a position where it may harm, or I may make the wrong decision and harm the community. She brought me all the documentation, which is all notarized through the state of Florida, showing that he is now able to be an EMS, that's an emergency service person, who comes up in an ambulance and can save your life, okay? He is certified to be in security, and I know on that tape it said he could not do security. That was one of my big
Sometimes
pet peeves.
they don't get to us.
She has proven everything that I have asked
We get a
her,
response automatically.
and that's,
Okay, so
It automatically comes in.
who
I don't know if that happens
who are the
after
HOA
it's
paid for security? What's the
Has to be
company
closer
that
to
is
the-
providing the security?
What people do is.
it's the
they'll send an
management
email.
companies
This
that
is what they have.
they're
That's why
the
they-
ones providing the
they
security.
forward some emails
On their own.
to whatever.
On their own?
And some of the emails are just.
Yeah,
It's not a company.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not a separate-
it's not-
No, it's
Yeah.
part of, no, it's
It's
part of the,
HOA, I guess, some type of security that.
right, everything that we do is through the management company.
So he is actually doing security for the company, for our HOA?
If she ever stops talking, I'll ask her, cause I didn't think, as far as I was, well,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying, is I
Yes.
asked, and as far as I knew, he was not doing anything with
Well,
security.
I got, we'll show you the record right
Let
here.
me see it.
My neighbor did it.
That's exactly what I need for.
Yeah, she did too, I didn't get it.
That's a
I could
HOA
consider her the same.
vehicle.
I have no trouble receiving any
That's
of
Mr.
these,
Joseph Conover getting out of the vehicle.
but when it's something I need in return, I don't get it.
Yeah. No, I get it.
That's my husband.
All I I can do is send an email, I can look up and see how many emails kind of situation, and I can look at it.
And there's several more of that.
Now, is Joe working as security?
No, he's working as a manager.
Okay, the reason I'm asking that question is, I just saw a video where he's actually getting out of a security vehicle, so.
He does. He
Okay.
reparks it, he does it.
Nobody's going to people's houses in it.
No, if he takes a vehicle to go drive and that kind of stuff, and I told him he can drive it, as long as he's going to from whatever, I've authorized it.
If
He's
he
fine.
goes to my house, he
What
goes
I'm
in my
saying is-
car.
They have pictures of him getting out in front of people's houses, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, he's probably taking pictures for me.
Yeah, and
Because in other words, he's acting as her, as the manager.
Right.
So
Okay.
whenever he comes to your house
So,
to take a picture of your house.
probably 'cause I
in the
sent him
security, in the company security,
he's
the
a
HOA
manager.
Yeah.
security
Right, because he'll take the
vehicle.
vehicle to
It's
car
the
wash,
same
he'll
thing.
take it, go get oil
It's the
change,
same
I mean,
thing.
we just did that the other day. He'll go and take that kind of a thing, yeah.
So
But
what,
like I said, for 3 weeks in a row, he wasn't even here. and you
Alright,
guys
but
were
like
calling
she
him.
said,
At the meeting when the school lets out, so he serves patrolling services.
right,
Correct.
yeah,
but like she said, in a
I mean,
week,
that's not
I don't
part
see
in a
anything
week.
on there.
he will no longer be with her, as
Yeah.
far as in the management company.
So we won't
Guy
see him
trying to
driving
even pull
around.
on his own.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
so he's trying to dip down away.
No, no,
He been trying to do it.
I'm trying to hear 4 people at one time.
He been trying to pull on people.
Yes.
That's
So
not
just so I understand correctly,
Is that clock, that clock's in at 6
who's
the
paying
whole
for,
while.
or who's in
That
charge
clock's
of
not
the
working.
security company in our community, Turnberry?
Hey,
That would be you.
me, yeah, it's me.
And does their
So-
name?
He, quick question,
Management 35,
Oh.
Turnberry,
Yeah.
HOA.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys, they're telling me that, I guess we gotta lock up and everything.
I understand, so you did say you're, want us to communicate our concerns to you. When is this gonna happen, or how are we gonna be able to? Because I have no violations. I'm always turned. My house is very beautiful outside, and my
Once you
key
log in,
has been
it shows you
blocked
your
to use the common area.
so the email
Never
attached
leave
to
late.
these 2 emails.
Your key has been used, has
It's
been blocked for the
I've
pool?
been blocked
So
for the
it's
pool.
not, none of those are your emails.
The security guard, not Joseph, the other one. He's disrespectful.
Yeah.
He comes to us in a
So
not
that
very
one
nice
is
manner
normally your
to
user
me and my
password
children.
login.
And he
So that's
expects me
your-
not
you
to
put the
ask
thing in
a
and
question, and something's wrong.
So you, now, are you an owner?
Then it's in the
I
same
am.
email website.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause I just paid through
hold on a second.
PayPal right now.
Sherry.
It goes out. It always
Is
goes
Joe
through, so-
done
Just keep it that way.
from here?
If you're used to it.
Just real quick, and then,
Yeah.
this young lady over here, she said that I guess she's current on all her payments and everything.
No, she knows why.
Oh, no, I know. And
She's had an incident, that we've had to call the police on her recently.
No, you did not call the police on me. And that's
Hmm.
why I want to talk to her.
You can talk to her, you can send her
I'm
an
trying,
email,
but
you
she's
can write
from
it to her, you
I
can let her know.
don't know, I
Your-
sent you
her-
guys
her
an
account's
email.
been documented.
And you guys have said that I did a breach of peace, and I've been looking all over the bylaws, everywhere. I do not know what a breach of peace is.
But call me
Breach
either
of
way,
peace
'cause
is
let me know,
basically
and part of
where-
everything sometimes it's not this.
I asked the security guard for his credentials and his license or an ID, and he denies it to me.
Well,
Yeah.
they should be able to show you that.
And what, and do you see a problem with that? Did I exercise my right as a person that owns a property here, and he comes to me in the wrong way? It's not even 8 p.m., which I always exit the common areas at 8. I have little kids there playing. I'm talking to friends,
Everybody gets their own.
and I'm being accused of a breach of peace because somebody else asked the guard a question, because he was talking in a very rude manner to all the ladies, who were all ladies with their children. He comes to us in our face, I'm like, dude, chill, we're leaving. It's not 8 p.m. No, he wants us to leave right away, like we're doing something. I gotta pack my kids, I gotta.
That's another problem I have. I don't mean to interrupt y'all,
So,
but I'm sorry, but
402.
we pay HOAs here. If I'm an adult, why can't I be in the common areas past 8 o'clock with my kids? I'm not saying have kids up there by themselves, but with an adult 21 years or older, I can drink, I can buy.
The reason
I
that-
can't stay in my own neighborhood.
I know, but see, the reason that they actually have a time limit, and I think we're trying to change it so it's a little bit later, especially in the summertime, cause it's lighter, is because what happens is, we have a lot of, and this is not saying it's any of you, but we have a lot of kids from ages 10 and on up, who come in and start destroying stuff. We've had equipment destroyed, we've had TVs destroyed, we've had basketball courts, the nets destroyed. we can't have somebody there 24 hours a day. So in order to maintain or try to keep some kind of consistency, we have to have some type of time limit. Now, what we've been talking about is extending the time in the summer because it's lighter outside. It's when it gets dark that a lot of this stuff happens.
I understand that, but keyword you said was kids there
Right,
after the
but,
hours.
okay, but now
if
let
I'm
me,
there at 20, if I'm there, and
but you have to understand something, okay, if you're there and you've got your kids there, right? And I've got kids that are 16, 17 years old showing up, they're gonna argue, their parents are gonna argue, and then it becomes a free-for-all. So it has to be something that is just point blank. It's just like the HOA fee. It's point blank. There's no, okay, well, I do this or I do that. It's just, you have to have a cutoff. You just have to.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
That's okay, that's okay. So, my kids were not being disrupted. We don't go to the gym because they're little. They don't know how to use the gym. I was just in the basketball court, the pool, and playground. Right?
No,
well, she said when she pulled up,
they were already about done, but the thing about
He came to us in a rude manner.
They didn't do anything.
He kinda talked wrong to my neighbor, and her boyfriend came to ask him questions. Why are you talking like that? Tell me what's the problem. He said, oh no, I don't wanna talk to you. And right away, he just goes and calls Joseph Conover. I don't know for what reason, he has to make decisions. You see where I'm going?
I understand where you're going, and like I said.
And my car gets, blocked since April. No violation.
What's your address?
2097 Mandel Drive. She says they called the
Oh,
cops
I
on me.
know, okay, I know that address.
Yeah, they didn't call the cops on me. I would have waited gladly.
Alright, but what
She
I'll
knows
do,
where I live.
I'm gonna go through what the information that she has, and I will look at it.
Yeah, it's unfair.
Alright.
Just out of curiosity,
Well, no, he
maybe
wasn't there. She
I'm
was
off
just
base
recording
here,
remote.
but if
Yeah,
you
so
have
they
like
finished
so
the
many
job.
complaints
But then
about the
today we got
security,
saying that we-
Yeah.
that's.
So it was like, what-
No, okay, no, let me explain something. Out of all, no. No.
Just out of
A
curiosity.
real
I'll give-
company.
Just listen to this, and I'm
A
serious
real
about
company.
this. You take the whole community. Do you know that out of this whole community, there has only been 18 complaints from homeowners? 18, and every single one, no, wait a minute.
What about against the management company?
The management company, I don't get a lot
But I
of,
mean, what I say that.
the only thing I hear about the management company is because of the violations. The violations are there to protect everybody, okay? That's why we developed that little group, because we didn't want anybody to think it was the board deciding, we didn't want, these are homeowners, these are people who live in the community, who want the best for the community.
How many homes in the community is management?
That
35 homes?
standard list of like rules and things like that?
I'm not absolutely sure, I think it's like 180 homes. Yeah.
They're really hitting everybody hard on that.
I'm having such a hard time hearing over it.
You can put it in, you can do two things. If you don't wanna do store your trash can in the garage.
Well, no, I'll put it in the garage already. I'm talking about the fine.
Oh, the fines?
Yeah, like.
I got-
You can go in front of the CDC,
There's
which
one
is the covenant
group,
enforcement committee. that,
okay,
like
and the
said,
reason
they're
I
gonna
can
meet
say
in July.
this is because I've
And then
actually
at that
seen
point in
the
time,
emails,
you
I've actually seen the
Vote for
posts,
them.
I've
If they can
actually
take it out, they'll take it out.
actually talked to some of these
You
people.
run the risk,
And it's
because
a
they can charge
group
you
of
from
people,
$50
and I know
Well, yeah,
exactly
that's
where
what
they
they
live,
told me.
$1,000.
who,
But they're
no
normally
matter
reasonable.
what the community does,
Last group was.
If we
We're
gotta eat
wrong.
it, we'll just eat it, but I just
Okay.
wanna make sure the.
like I said,
lawn
I
stuff
didn't
is-
pick
can you
to
check
be the
and see if
president.
lawn stuff is still attached or if that's
I
still-
don't see
nominated,
So you
Oh, no,
said-
no, there was one.
Yeah.
It was in
and I,
June.
you know, the thing is,
What was that?
and there's people in this room right now that know me
Yeah,
and
for
know that
610. Is that the one you're talking about?
I only want the best.
$110?
No, no, no.
Okay,
So
I
the
don't
date
do
was
this because I'm
6/10/2019.
getting paid for it, I don't do
And what
this
are they
because I
saying?
have to.
Okay, yeah, so
But-
well, we finished that though, like we
If
continued to
there's
send pictures of the
concerns,
neighbors, then
I
I don't know
will
what it was,
address
they
them.
responded back and said,
That's what I
hey.
But
need
I
to know,
have to know
the
what
date
they
that
are.
you sent that email.
Okay,
If
listen,
you
wait,
get
wait,
before
wait.
then I can take it out.
So that
If
was
you
610.
can't, then I can't do that.
She's like grandparent for my
So this
kids.
is May 19th,
and
yeah,
her
that was
husband
like
also.
Twitter for a bunch of landscaping needs to be addressed.
The biggest issue here, I
Okay,
mean,
so those are
it's,
trash, so I
these she
guess
intends
that's still
well.
one of them.
okay, from my experience dealing with her and her family.
She's taking the time to.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had the anniversary 19th, so yeah, this
I
had to
will
be the
be
one, the recent
willing.
one where they
Yeah,
came and mowed
I
the
don't
lawn.
believe I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna say
Yeah,
this.
and mowed the lawn, right? Yeah.
I
this
will
was
download
already-
them
all at the same
Give
time.
you
Which was
guys
already
my
mowed 6
phone
days
number.
before.
I know,
But
if
please,
you got the
you have to
violation,
understand, I am a
you
director of a
load
hospital.
right before the,
Okay,
right
so
after
my
the
phone
violation,
already blows up.
then boom, you send a
So
photo
if
in,
you-
I need to see that.
How about
Yeah, we did, oh, okay.
So we won't
Let's see if I
call
can pull it up, 'cause we
You can do
definitely
that.
sent the email,
Okay.
and they responded and said, okay, this is
I
cool,
give you
and
my
then they came and
email,
forced over
okay?
6 days
Yeah,
later.
email's great.
Okay, if you do that, I will answer you, all right? And I will give, the answers I give you will be to the best of my knowledge, all right? All right, is everybody ready?
Yeah, we gotta go.
I'm trying.
What is your last name?
It's Boyd, B-O-Y-D.
B-O-Y-D?
So these are the fourth.
I'm sorry.
Since I've been here for 6 years, I've yet to see an election where actually everybody you know, and vote.
No, actually, they had one the last time. That's why I told you I'm surprised I was nominated. Because the way I started this whole thing, I used to be the lifeguard at the pool, because I was always at the pool. Because I worked nights. And I knew all the kids, you know, and then I got to know people in the community.
You don't do it here, you can send it to
Next
me.
thing you know,
I
here I
know,
am.
that's the thing, we be sending it and the thing.
Okay, you ready?
We never get-
It's P
And
as
like
in
I'm
Paul,
in the office on Friday.
R,
9 to 1.
Fridays,
E,
9 to 1.
T,
I'm
T,
sharing.
I,
And
D, E, at AOL.com.
Listen, we did it immediately.
Wow.
It's only me, it's supposed to nobody but me.
P-A-I.
No, P-R,
P-R.
E, T-T-I,
Oh, okay.
D-E at AOL.com.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, since I have been here in 2007, nobody has done this, okay? I'm trying something new, and I'm hoping to God it helps, okay? Because that's my intention,
So we appreciate that.
okay?
This is right.
We
Can I
do.
ask one
What is your
thing?
first name,
Sure.
Teresa?
The group that you guys were referring to that handles the
Is your first
violations,
name
that
Teresa?
I just looked at the violations, what were you saying?
So let's just send it back to
CDC, I think they call it CDC. It's three
Enforcement.
homeowners, yeah, it's three homeowners.
Do you know, the 3 homeowners here in Turnberry?
Yeah.
Okay, do we know who?
Yeah,
Who is P-R-E?
Right.
Has to be before the 10th.